Hello, welcome everyone. We're back to the van conversion series here. We're going to move on with this, move forward with it. What we're going to be working on now, we're going to jump right into it, and that is our fresh water system or our plumbing system. And that'll take us right through to from the tank to the pumps, right through to our new faucet and countertop and all that. So I want to show you what we got to finish this project and what we'll be working on. Anyway, let's jump right into this. I want to show you what I have now for this freshwater system, and let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, again, remove this bed frame. I can't wait till this is finally in here, more of a permanent situation. But I got to pull this out so I can get the water tank in and do this, and hopefully this will be one of the last times I have to do this. This will be our countertop. As you can see, I've got the template already. This is at the bottom of the countertop where the sink will go in. I've got the outside diameter and the inside diameter, where the inside is where I have a water pump. It's a 3 GPM, 3 gallons per minute, made by SureFlow Pentar. Should be adequate, maybe more than adequate. Attached to the side of that will be my SureFlow Pentar strainer, and that will strain out the water that comes from the tank, any debris or anything that will go into the pump to clog it up. So that'll strain it out, and that little strain in there is removable. From the pump, we will go into our accumulator tank, and this is a pressurized tank, and this will be right prior to going up into and out of the faucet. Speaking of the faucet, we have this wee faucet. It's a, of course you can see I got it by Amazon, all the instructions. It's a pull down type of faucet that it spins around, so I'll be able to not only use it in the sink, but I'll be able to turn it around, and where the sliding door is, I'll be able to, maybe wash something down out there, even myself if I had to. So that's my sink. I'm not going to pull it all out of the box right now because I want to keep the part straight as I put it together. Okay, moving on, this is our sink. It's a 15 by 15 stainless steel sink. It's got a single hole for the faucet, and I've got a 2-inch drain. We're not 100% sure where we're going to drain into our gray water tank, but we've got ideas for that right now too. So we're going to put this all together and cut out the countertop for the sink to fit in, and then I just pretty much got to go and work out all my different fittings, and I'll hook it all up to my 15-gallon freshwater water tank. So let's get it on. All right, I got my 4 pilot holes cut out here, and now let's see if we can saw it out. Channels there where we put these brackets underneath to pull the sink down tight. All right, so we have our fork. All right, I've got the pump mounted to the floor. You'll see this is the valve here that will go to my water tank, which isn't there right now, and this other valve will go up into my faucet. Right now, I didn't film a lot of that. I just screwed it into the floor, but most of that was just running all this wire up into and being able to have a switch for the on and off for the pump. So I'm not hooking that to power yet until I get all the water going through it.
And I think next I'll move on just to get my water tank with all the fittings in it. Let me go ahead and turn this on. I have about, I don't know, 3 or 4 gallons of water, maybe more in there. So let's get the battery on. And go ahead and make sure I have everything done here right. Let's turn the pump on. You hear the little click. And there we go. And this sprays. This moves down. It's got a little strainer there. It's going into my gray water tank. So let's see how much of this water, and then I'll empty my gray water tank and show you how I can do that without removing the gray water tank. But she works good. And it's completely, I didn't need a accumulator tank, which I sent back to Amazon already. That was $35 I didn't need to spend. This is all activated, and that's about as loud as it gets. All right, guys, this is the final result of my gray water valve drainage. This will go right under my sink. That's a hose adapter there, so I can put a small length of hose on that, just leave it on it, and close this up and then open it to drain out my gray water when it's full or half full. Won't let it get all the way full. And this should work out pretty well. I got it all sealed all in through there, and I got it all sealed down inside. I filled it up with water a couple times. I had no leaks yet. So I'll let this stuff just dry a couple days. I'm in no rush to use this, so I want to make sure it gets dried out real good. So that's it. That's my DIY gray water tank that I won't have to remove from underneath the sink to empty it all the time. Should work out pretty good. So the tank is hooked to this hose, and it drains my water out there. I can run that hose out there further. This is the on-off switch right here, but you can see it's emptying right now. Okie dokie. Let me give you a complete rundown now of my freshwater system. First of all, this is the 15-gallon tank that I installed. I put braces all around it, on the back, the front, everywhere, so it doesn't move. Plus up there, it would never move forward to that anyway, but it's pretty locked in there. So what I got here is, this is my fill hose, okay? I put a piece of PVC on top of this. This part came with it. It goes in there, and it went in there pretty tight, so it doesn't slosh around and come out. I bought this little PVC adapter for the top, and that screws on there real nice, and now I can just fill it up. This here is my air vent. It shouldn't have a cap on it, but I put a cap on it so when I'm driving, water's not coming out of that also. But every time you use your water system, you got to remember to take this off. So that I got to remember. All right. I keep in a bag there in this compartment, I keep a hose. It's about a 25-foot real flexible hose, just so no matter where I go, I can always fill up my tank. 15 gallons is more than enough for us, and that should be plenty. Coming out of the other side down here, this is my water line that comes from the tank up to this is a strainer, and on the back of that strainer down there is a removable screen that you can clean out. I've got it all wired in. I'm going to enclose all this here. I'm going to fix it up, make it look so it ain't so open. But that's all my electrical, with it coming into the 3 gallon per minute pump, coming out and going under this cabinet, and I'll show you here in a second as it goes up in my faucet. This whole area back in here is where my bed is, so I took all the frames down the bed, so this would pretty much all be covered into my garage. All right, so coming up to my sink. This is my 15 by 15 sink, stainless steel, and my faucet. The faucet comes out, swings around. I can use it on both sides. It has the sprayer on it, and it works real. I've got my electrical switch up there to turn the pump on, and my DIY gray water tank. This line here is the additional line for if I want hot and cold water, but since I'm only using one, I put a cap on the end of it, but I ran it down into the bucket anyway. So all my gray water goes in this 5 gallon bucket. I've got it bungee to the side, and let me show you outside where that runs. We're putting our doors on, but before I put the doors on this cabinet and all, we're gonna finish up this underneath all the plumbing. So coming out, so I don't have to constantly take that gray water tank out. You can see down here, I have a valve. You take it and turn it on and off. It's in the off position right now, and what that does is I drilled a hole underneath there, and I got a long line to just drain it, under the van or wherever I want to drain that. So, I know there'll be a little bit of water left in the bottom of the 5 gallon bucket, but, I don't have to keep emptying it, pulling it out, undoing it. So this is going to work out real good. I've already tested it, and she's going to work. So that's it. Next thing we're going on is putting our other cabinets in and our Dometic refrigerator. So that's my plumbing.